Welcome to the 40th episode of the Three Sportsmen podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kurt.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Trey.
And in this week's episode, we are going to be previewing Super Bowl 55, talking about some potential landing spots for Matt Stafford if he gets traded in the offseason, and then talking about some NFL coaching hires. But before we get started, we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the podcast, check out other episodes that we've released, and follow us on social media, on Twitter,
at podcast T3S,
and on Instagram
at T3S Podcast.
We really appreciate any support. So instead of talking about the championship game separately, Sam being a Packers fan, I don't think you really want to talk about that. So let's just go with a Super Bowl preview. Chiefs and Buccaneers. Trey, who do you have?
I have the Chiefs, but I'm really annoyed with the Chiefs right now. They're so cocky, so chippy. I don't know. You saw it, Kurt. They were just so chippy and cocky at the end.
Yeah, from what I saw. Did you guys see the offsetting penalties?
Yes. It was like 3 on one side versus 1, right?
I think they maybe just got tired and didn't want to do the math.
Like, is that how it's supposed to work? If there's 1 on each, it just offsets?
If it's 1 on each side, it offsets. But I don't know.
I think if there's like 1 on each side, it doesn't matter how many if it's uneven. I feel like that's what the rules are. I don't know though.
I'm checking Twitter quickly to see. Because everyone on Twitter was confused. So, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting it to be offsetting penalties.
But it didn't really matter at that point. But still.
Yeah. Sam, who's your Super Bowl pick?
Chiefs by 1 million.
Chiefs by 1 million?
Yeah. No,
I think let's just.
The refs are probably going to find a way to put Brady back in it, but.
I know exactly how you feel. The Vikings, with it happening a few years ago, let's just not talk about it. Then I don't like saying it. I think Kansas City is going to win. I just trust Kansas City's defense to stop Tampa Bay's offense more than I trust Tampa Bay's defense to stop Kansas City's offense.
That's fair.
And Tampa Bay has a really good defense.
They do.
So that's not saying that Tampa Bay's defense is bad by any means. Kansas City's offense is just that good. And you have to remember what they did to them in the regular season. Tyreek having over 200 yards that game.
Wasn't that a close game, though? If I remember right?
I think it ended up being kind of close.
Garbage time?
I think it was 27-24. Yeah, Kansas City scored 17 in the first quarter, and then Tampa Bay scored 14 of their 24 in the fourth. But Mahomes threw for 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Tyreek had 13 receptions, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kelsey had 8 for 82, no touchdowns.
Is that good? Mahomes, only 400 yards.
Only 3 touchdowns. And then Brady's 2 picks didn't help in that game either.
3.
In the first Kansas City versus Tampa Bay game, not the Green Bay game. But he didn't play well. Or he played okay.
What, today?
Today he could have been better.
He was bad in the second half.
Yeah, second half he just fell apart. So let's leave it at that. Let's talk about some other NFC North related news, Matt Stafford and the Lions reportedly have mutually decided that they're going to split ways this offseason. So Stafford is still under contract. That means he's going to leave Detroit via a trade. So where do you think he ends up?
Well, I would want him on the Bears, but I know that's not going to happen. So probably the Niners, Colts, or Patriots are my top three.
How much cap space does Carolina have?
Aren't they in on Watson? Or no?
Vegas has them in on Watson. Ooh, they do not have a lot of cap space.
Well, they would probably trade back Teddy Bridgewater.
Bridgewater's 17 million base salary, but 20 million dead money. Wait, if he is a trade pre-June 1st, it's only 10 million in dead money. Trade post June 1st, that makes it only 5.
I just looked, and the Patriots have a lot of cap space. Like a lot.
How much?
57.
I mean, the Colts have 60, I think? Over 60.
How do these teams have so much money? And then like our teams have like no money.
It's a lot of you have how much a contract is worth on average annually, but the contract itself isn't always written that way.
Wait, hold.
So the Vikings, Kirk Cousins' contract, on average, it's not horrible for a quarterback, but year 3 it is. So I think it's partially that, and it's partially just very good drafting. Sam, where do you think Stafford's going to end up?
I don't think he's going to end up in the NFC. I think he's probably going to end up on the Patriots or the Colts.
So then let's do one of your favorite things, Sam. Let's talk about the Lions. How bad do you think they're going to be next year? Because I don't see them being good.
They're going to be at the bottom of the division with Green Bay.
You're that down?
No, dude. It doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers is going to leave after this year. He's going to leave. Aaron Jones is going to leave. None of them want to be here. No, they just don't.
I mean, I saw LaFleur made that stupid comment about Rodgers' future is up in the air or whatever.
Well, no, I saw Rodgers' comments.
Yeah, he's gonna want to leave. He's gonna want to leave. I mean, you can't get very much for him. He's 37 years old.
I mean, you'd get something, I would think, right?
Yeah. You're definitely going to get something if you were to trade him.
If we trade him, I want a cornerback.
They would have to trade him.
They'd have to trade him.
Because he's got 4 years left. I want a cornerback. If we trade him, give me a corner.
Honestly, the Packers just need to be aggressive in the draft. I think if they trade up for a corner.
Is it a good class?
I mean, there's Surtain, Farley,
J.C. Horn. They have Tankathon, J.C. Horn at 23. I think you could trade up from, 29?
Something like that.
Yeah, from 29 to 23. That's not a huge jump. Because how much did the Niners give up to jump from 31 to 25 to draft Ayuk?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just this is going to be a long off season.
Okay, so the Niners traded 31, 117, and 176 to move up to 25.
I don't even think we're gonna be. I don't think we're gonna be aggressive. We're probably just gonna say, yeah, screw this. We're just gonna take 29.
I don't even know if it makes sense to trade up, to be honest.
It doesn't. I mean, we're probably gonna take an offensive tackle, and we really, really don't need one.
I mean, once Bakhtiari's back.
And then, I mean, it also depends on whether Lindsley's gonna leave or not.
Is he a free agent too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Well, it's going to be an interesting offseason for sure. And then finally, let's end off the episode talking about some of the coaching hires. There have been some interesting ones, to say the least. Let's start off talking about the Lions, since we just talked about Matt Stafford for a little bit. That press conference.
I don't even know what to say. I really don't.
He has a weird obsession with destroying kneecaps.
And doing it again and again. I don't think the Lions are going to be good. I still think they're definitely going to be far in last place again.
Jaguars hired Urban Meyer.
What if they take Justin Fields?
Laugh.
The Jags fans would start rioting to get him fired.
Jets fans would be losing their minds, though.
Watch them pass on him too. They're like, we got Sam Darnold.
I mean, I've been thinking about like the possibility that the Jets pass on a quarterback now that they can't get Trevor. But if for whatever reason Zach Wilson or Justin Fields go number one, the Jets would be out of their minds to not take Trevor at 2.
It is the Jets, though, Kurt.
True. But I like their coaching hire.
I do too. He's good.
And especially, I think that on paper, their defense is better than a lot of people give them credit for.
That's who I would have wanted the Bears to hire, but, you know, we didn't do that. It was one of my candidates. I like him and the Bills' offensive coordinator.
I'm surprised Dable didn't get hired, honestly.
He literally made Josh Allen.
He was part of that team that did. I wouldn't
He
go
fixed
like
them.
Yeah, he did. He played a major role in Allen's development.
And Allen wasn't a finished product coming out too.
I mean, just think about the 1-year jump.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised Bieniemy still hasn't gotten that head coach opportunity.
Do you think Houston gets him or no?
Honestly, given everything that like we're hearing about Houston, I honestly don't know.
Would he even want to go there? That's almost a question too.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of people say that the Houston job seems like it's just like stay away from it.
Is it the worst job in the NFL?
Yes.
I think it might be.
Your star player wants out. Your
No
previous
picks.
coach / GM traded away all your good players, aside from Watson
And JJ Watt. Yeah, that's it.
and Tunsil, I guess. But they traded all their picks to get Laramie Tunsil in the first place. So unless they trade Watson for like all of their first round picks back, or like the same number of picks or more, even if they do that, I don't know, like, what would it take to get someone really good in Houston?
I don't know. Because you don't have a quarterback. You don't have a good roster behind the quarterback.
I mean, decent receiving core, I guess.
The ownership, no one likes the ownership right now. Could it get any worse?
So Fuller's a free agent, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he is.
So if he leaves, then you're just stuck with Brandon Cooks and David Johnson.
Those two are going to want out too.
Now, Cooks doesn't want to get traded anymore.
Why?
He's been traded I think this is his 4th team via trade in I don't even know. It hasn't been a while. I'm checking Football Reference right now. Because he started off on the Saints. So he's been in the league since 2014. He's been traded 3 times, played for 4 different teams. 1 season as a Patriot, then 2 seasons on the Rams, now 1 in Houston. So his longest tenure's 3 years on the Saints.
He needs to be on a team though. He'd be like the last man standing. But I mean, it's up to him.
I remember seeing he didn't want to get traded again. He said that. I don't blame him.
No, I get it too. I'm just saying it's going to be a lot of tough years there.
And a team who I think could have done worse, not my ideal pick for head coach, the Chargers.
Who was their pick again?
They got the 1 defensive coach from the Rams.
Yeah. I mean, being
Brandon
around Sean
Staley.
McVay can hurt.
Brandon Staley, former Rams defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, being around McVay cannot hurt anyone.
As much as I would have loved to see Dable with Herbert, Eckler, Allen, that entire offense.
That would have been a perfect fit. It would have.
People underestimate the Chargers defense. Bosa, Ingram, Derwin, Casey Hayward.
I mean, they have their quarterback, which is big.
Oh, I did not see this. CBS Sports. Lions to hire former Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn as offensive coordinator.
Oh, you didn't see that?
I had not seen that.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. But yeah, I'm not sure why he would want to go there, but I mean, I guess it's a job. You know, I feel like he could have gotten a better job.
I mean, I didn't think he was going to be a head coach after this year.
Neither did I, but
he seems like a great guy, though. He seems like a guy who players can rally around. It was just the clock management, and that's what
ended him.
Yeah. You see, Bill O'Brien is the Bama offensive coordinator now.
He's gonna be a college head coach in 2 years. I'll tell you, because that's what Saban does. I bet you it happens.
Is Tennessee gonna get him as their how many head coaches have they had now? It's absurd.
I don't know. They've fallen off if we want to talk about a program.
Yeah. Sam, any last words before we end the episode off?
No.
Good to know. All right, so those were our thoughts on the Super Bowl. We talked about Matt Stafford, potential trade locations, and then we talked about some coaching hires from the NFL. If you like this episode, remember to subscribe. Check out other episodes of the podcast. Remember, the Three Sportsmen is a weekly podcast, so be sure to tune in next week. Remember, trust the podcast.